This Sprinklr training video covers publishing in the system. To start out, you can access publishing in a couple of different ways. Choosing Quick Publish or the pencil icon will open the Quick Publish panel. You can also get to this panel through the editorial calendar by clicking Create Post. All will get you to the same place. The Create Post window opens, and your first step is to choose the account or accounts that you'll be publishing to. You can publish to many accounts at once with a separate message on each. One thing to note is if you have multiple accounts of the same channel, so 2 Facebook pages, for example, the channel messages need to be the same. I'm going to start by choosing specific accounts. I do not want to choose the account group, which are signified by an icon with an initial in a circle, because that will not allow me to adjust the message at the channel level. I'm going to choose the specific accounts. We'll do LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram all at once. You'll see here on the right, there's a preview panel, and I can toggle between channels. You can also toggle between mobile view and desktop view. This panel will update with content as I populate it. Over here, you'll see settings with channel icons or in all channels. If the globe is selected, any changes I make below will impact all of the channels and accounts that have been selected. If I want changes made specific to a particular channel, I would choose that icon. We'll start with the globe selected, and I'll enter my content here. You can type your message, and it will give you a character count at the channel level. You can also click Insert to choose content that's available in other areas of the system. So adding a YouTube video, adding a text template from your asset manager, which is useful if you have a common message, particularly with replies to frequently asked questions. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to start typing. And I'm going to do a placeholder link here for the sake of demonstration. You can see over on the right, the changes I've made have appeared. Now I'm going to upload a photo. And the image appears. So far, all the changes I've made have been the same on every channel. Now I'm going to switch to channel-specific tweaks. At the channel level, you can change the type of post, which varies based on the platform. You can also customize the content for that specific channel. So in our case, we use UTM parameter tagged links for reporting. So we have a link specific to each channel. So here, I'll just illustrate that by changing the channel there. But in reality, this would be an actual link. The channel section is also where you add alt text for those who use screen readers to consume content. It is very important that we're as inclusive as possible, so be sure to add alt text for any images. Here I could also choose to add another photo or a video. I could add targeting to this post for this specific channel. Switching to Facebook, you can see the different types of posts available here. If you scroll, you'll see more. Again, I'll update my link. I'll add my alt text. I could add another photo if I'd like. I can add preferred audience or audience restrictions, publish as a dark post. These are all optional features specific to Facebook. On Twitter, I'll note you can do Twitter threads. You can adjust who can reply, publish as a dark post, On Instagram, there's 4 different options. One thing to note is that some options, the stories, don't allow you to direct publish. For those, you'll have to publish via mobile. So if I choose story here, you'll see those options will update. Publish via mobile means that the person who is managing the account or the message will have to get a notification on their mobile device, which will push the content live. It's a few-step process, relatively easy, but something to be aware of. In that case, you would need to choose your user account down in this user to notify list, and then that individual would need to be logged into both the Sprinklr app and the Instagram app in the appropriate account on their phone when that notification comes through, so they can push that live. I'm going to go back to post for the sake of demonstration. Because it's Instagram, I'm going to remove this link. But I will note, if you choose to have link in bio, you're able to add a link to this post through your publishing process. You can also tag accounts and locations. The first comment box allows you to create the first comment on the post. Be sure not to use emojis in this comment box, as it will cause issues in the system. Now that all my updates have been made, I'll go back to the globe. And you can see here in the preview, those links I updated are showing. I'll do a quick demo with YouTube. For that, we'll upload a video. You're able to add your video title and description here. Choose your privacy level, any creative licensing, add tags, choose a category, add to a playlist, which you'll need playlist permissions for your account given to your user account, and then note if it's made for kids. These all replicate the functionality within YouTube. If you hover over the video thumbnail, you can get this option to add captions or to change the thumbnail for the video to make it something more branded and recognizable. Once all of my settings are done, I'll choose the globe and choose campaign. For campus, all campaigns use the default. We recommend checking the set as default box, and then you'll never have to set the campaign manually again. And then you can add your custom fields, which we'll go into in more detail in a separate video. But these are all customizable options based on your unit. So you choose your unit from this list, and that will populate other options, which can then be used for reporting. If you need to use the approval workflow, go ahead and select that here. And then from here, you have a few options. You can click post to send things live instantly. You can save as draft if you're not quite ready to schedule or post, but you're building out the content and don't want to lose your work. Posts that are saved as draft will show up in the draft column of your outbound dashboard under engagement. Or you can schedule a post, which allows you to choose a date and time, either globally for all channels or at a specific channel level. So if I want to tweak the times and have everything go out at separate dates, that is possible. If your account has been connected to the system for enough time to gather data, enabling smart scheduling will suggest times for this post to go live. If you don't agree with one of the suggestions, click the time and choose an alternative. Or toggle it off to go back to manually setting your date and time. Once you've selected a date and time, the post button becomes schedule, and clicking this will set the post to go live at that date and time, and the post will appear on that date in your editorial calendar.